So, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Mike Tansey, and I'm the head of sales at Chess. And welcome to our webinar, Stronger Together, bringing together Silversands, Chess, and CyberLab. For those that haven't been to a Chess webinar before, I'll run you through just a little bit of housekeeping. So, firstly, the session will be recorded, a copy of which will be made available to you tomorrow. For any questions, we're saving 10 minutes at the end of the webinar. But if you want to post your questions as you go, please use the Q&A tab at the top of the screen. We'll ask my colleagues just to man the lobby coming in. And finally, we're offering a number of one-to-one workshops for each of the companies here today. So this is a consultant-led session to discuss your specific requirements with the Chess team. We are offering preferential rates for the Silversands customers as well. So to take us up on that, simply tick the request follow-up section in the box, and I'll post that into the chat now. Let's do that. Okay, so that's a bit of the housekeeping. So to set the scene, I'll cast your mind back to last year. So as many of you know, in November, Silversands were acquired by Chess ICT as part of a strategic acquisition. Silversands has a strong reputation in the Microsoft space, and most of our customers here today have been with us for over 10 years or more, and a few that have registered have been with us for over 20 years. Hopefully by the end of today's session, I really hope you'll have a better understanding of who we are collectively and how we can support you for the next decade and beyond. For the agenda today, so we'll be starting with the introduction, so I'll run through the speaker overviews. We'll then be diving into the combined value that Silversands, Chess and CyberLab bring to the table, touching on the company history, the values and the ethos that really sets Chess apart. Next, we'll be exploring Chess's enhanced solution and service offerings, so talking about how we can best support your business. But we'll also be putting a face to the names of our consultancy team, introducing some of the key consultants, some of whom I'm sure you'll recognise from working with Silversands over the years. And then CyberLabs will be painting a picture of their enhanced security capabilities and how they keep your business secure. We'll then open up the floor to a Q&A panel, so you can ask any of the questions. If we don't have the answers today, we will follow up after the session. And then finally, we'll wrap up the session with any closing remarks. So I'm now pleased to introduce the speakers for today. So alongside myself, we have Oliver Lofthouse, our Chess Sales Director. Oliver sits on the board and he's at the heart of Chess. He brings with him a wealth of experience from large enterprise customers, companies such as Vodafone and Mars, and he's focused on delivering value to our customers. Next is Martin Bacon, our consultancy team leader. Martin sold his ICT business to Chess a decade ago, and he's been with us ever since. Martin comes with a deep technical expertise covering both the breadth and the depth of the services at Chess. I'm sure you'll all get to know Martin very soon. And last but not least, Adam Myers, so sales director at CyberLab. Adam sits on the board and keeps our customers ahead of the ever-changing cybersecurity landscape and away from the threats, something that should be on everyone's priority list in 2025. And that's our speakers for today. So without further ado, I'd like to pass you over to Oliver Lofthouse to kick off the session. Oliver, over to you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mike. So Rick says, I'm lucky enough to have been with the Chess business for just over 5 years now. And prior to that, I spent 9 years at Vodafone. My real responsibility and activity across the group is really about support of the sales and marketing activity that we have across all the divisions and the customer segments. So that, I think one of the things that really sort of stands out for me in terms of our capability is the fact that we have a continuum of customer base right up to from those small ones and twos SME customers right up to large multi-thousand employee enterprise customers. So that certainly keeps me busy. Now, really, for the next 10 minutes, my role is simply to introduce you to the wider Chess group, with which now includes Silversands. I'd like to share with you the broader capability that exists within the group and hope there might be some new areas of opportunity that we might be able to work together on in the future. My hope is really that you'll leave this webinar in adding Chess to your consideration set when you're thinking about new projects, when you're perhaps thinking about renewing existing services, or even future-proofing those services to ensure that you're fit for future. My hope is that Chess becomes part of that consideration set and you'll reach out to us to build and work with you. And the reality is we're not just here to give you a proposal when you've fully defined all of your requirements. We welcome the opportunity to engage really early and support you in a consultative manner, and help shape your thinking, or also give you different options that you might not have considered before. So let me just tell you a little bit about Chess, and this slide I think really depicts our growth. So Chess the business is actually 32 years old this year and has developed significantly over its lifetime. And I think this development has been very strongly aided by over 100 acquisitions that Chess has made through that period of time. The early years was definitely focused around acquiring for scale. It was to ensure that we had the size of business that meant we were going to be a serious player in the reseller market. And also it helped us to create many of the strategic partnerships that we've got with the best-in-class technology suppliers that we enjoy today. So that was really the first part of the business in that growth journey. But latterly, the focus has turned more around capability acquisition. And this is in an attempt to be a trusted advisor for our customers. We needed to continue and still continue to need to ensure we have the capability to address the technology pain points that our customers face into on a daily basis. The business itself is privately owned, and the majority shareholders, as well as the founder, is our chairman, David Pollock, is active in the business every day. Having worked in a number of large corporate organizations, for me, this is a real unique selling point. I think it means that as a business, we can act with freedom and agility to meet the needs of our customers. And also, let's face it, we all work in a very fast technology industry that's changing constantly. So the ability to be able to make the right decision for the business, for our customers, in light of changing technology is really important. And I think that private ownership and the fact that we are debt-free gives us that freedom to make those right decisions. Acquisitions also bring with them talented people, and we work really hard to ensure that we retain those people within the business. And as shown in the case of Silversands, so the vast majority of people transitioned, as well as the customers, which we feel maximizes the impact that the acquisitions make across the group. Now, the backbone of the business has always been telephony and connectivity, but as time has gone on, new areas such as security, managed support, digital transformation and professional services have all grown to complement and expand our capability. And probably it's now an appropriate time to introduce CyberLab that Mike mentioned. So following a number of acquisitions that we made in 2017, security, as we all know, becomes a very hot topic and is very important in the lives of all business owners. So in 2023, we made the decision to actually carve out our security practice into a single trading division that we call CyberLab. The shareholders are the same shareholders that we have in the Chess business, and we effectively act with CyberLab as though they are our sister company in Chess. CyberLab are that one-stop shop for security advice, and they've supported businesses, thousands of businesses of all sizes, to ensure that they are completely cyber secure. So as we move on to this slide, the reality is that the majority of our customers on the call have probably recognized and have experienced the great capability that Silversands has. And the reality is that all we're doing is trying to expand that capability by introducing two other brands. And the hope is that we will actually get the benefit of all of those divisions working together through a single supply agreement and through a single partnership with our customers. We like to think that Chess has done the same as Silversands has done in its customer base across its own customer base. And as you can see from this slide, we're fortunate enough to have over 18,000 customers that regularly consume services from the Chess Group. We're powered by a nearly 300 strong team that support our customers, and we enjoy over £50 million worth of turnover. It should be noted that that turnover stat actually excludes the £20 million of turnover that is actually generated through the CyberLab business. So overall, that would be 70 million. The table on the left really just sort of shows how our business is made up. So as I mentioned before, we've got businesses from sort of SME, small trading businesses, right up to large enterprise. And the way we segment our business is that we call a business customer any business with employees from 1 to 20. Corporate is from 20 to 200, and enterprise is from 200 and above. We also enjoy relationships with a number of large and small public sector customers that are spread across our core segments. And also we do have an indirect channel. So you can see at the end of that, you can see we have about 400 resellers that actually take products and services from Chess and then onwardly sell and build those services onto their end customers. And the real benefit of that is it gives Chess further extended reach into other parts of the market that we might not be able to reach from a direct route. The wheel on the right hand side really tries to depict the way that we go to market. So the key thing for us is that we like to consult with our customers. We are fairly supplier agnostic, although we do have strategic suppliers that we work very strongly with. One thing we do is ensure across all of the product families that we have that we definitely have choice of options to suit businesses, because we know one size doesn't fit all. What we then do is through our projects team and our technical architects is that we work with the customers to ensure that we deliver the solution as per the requirements. And then importantly, the next stage is around adoption. Technology adoption is sometimes quite varied within different customers. So we put a lot of time and focus in making sure that that adoption actually runs through the organization so that companies get the efficiency and the effectiveness of the solutions we deliver. And then lastly, we make sure that we support in life for those customers. So we have a totally UK dedicated support and customer experience team, and they're on hand to support those customers when they're in life and they've gone through that onboarding cycle. The outer part of the wheel really, I hope, articulates some of the benefits that we hope our customers will gain from working with Chess. This is about protecting data, connecting people better across your organization, helping you to grow your business, to be more competitive and to grow in line with your strategy, and also around reducing costs where appropriate. And just lastly, before I move on to this slide, you can see down in the table on the left again, the product families that we do. So there are a myriad of products and services that fit under each of those sort of product families, but we like to group them in those 6 areas because it helps us to build a hierarchy and an approach in the way we go to market. And fundamentally, the purpose of our business is making it easy for our customers to work securely anywhere and anytime. Cool. So as a business, our vision is fairly simple. We want to make Chess a great place to work, and we want to make Chess a great place to be a customer. And the fact is that we fundamentally believe that those two things work in hand in hand. If we create the right foundation for our employees so that they feel motivated, energized and focused with a common goal that brings them together, then that will result in great engagement, teamwork, and a desire to go that extra mile for our customers in delivering their goals. And of course, if we get those things right, if we get those ingredients right, it should correlate to the fact that we will have highly satisfied customers who feel as though Chess is a great place to be. And the reality is that if you look across our customer base, I mentioned of those 18,000 customers, over 70% of those customers have had a billing relationship with Chess for well over 5 years. So really, I think that just shows the loyalty and the stickiness of the customers based on that vision and delivering that execution. Okay, so if I move on to the next slide, creating a great place to work is just not about having a funky office in a high street in London. It's not about just about fantastic pay and bonuses. It's about creating a culture for the business to thrive, and that takes an enormous effort. The way we do that is that when everyone joins the business, they receive a document called a blueprint. And that document is basically the basis of our quality policy. It sets out our vision, it sets out our values, and it sets out the expectations that the business has of everybody across the organization. We use it every day to help us inspire, guide, and motivate ourselves as well as our teams. And every month, every single person in the organization has a one-to-one check-in and sit-down where we actually review performance and attitude and energy aligned to those blueprint behaviors. So that's really important to us. Now, nice words, I hear you say. And of course, there could be any business that talks around how they try to create this fantastic culture in their team. But the reality is that we do have some measures on that. So if we move to the next slide, what you can see here is our awards. And I'm really pleased to be able to, that Chess is able to celebrate that it's for the last 16 years been within the top 100 best companies to work for. We won the award in 2018, and in the latest rankings in 2024 in November, we were ranked second in the large company best company to work for nationally. So I think that sort of underpins the measure and really reinforces the value of our culture against our competitive set. As you move down the left-hand side on this slide, we've also talked about some of the partnerships, the strategic partnerships that we have across a multitude of suppliers. I'm not going to start talking about all of those, but our aim is really about bringing best of breed content from best of breed suppliers into a single offering through the Chess business. If you look slightly to the right there, you can see that our accreditations on ISO 9001 and 27001, which is focused around information security, and of course accreditations around Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus, which is really important. At the bottom, within those partner relationships, we obviously have a number of accreditations and awards which effectively underpins our relationship. So, Cisco, Microsoft, Meraki, all different Datto, different customers, different relationships and suppliers where we have actually gone into their partner programs and achieved those accreditations. And then lastly on this slide, on the right-hand side, you can see our Trustpilot. So Chess is really pleased to be able to say that it has a 4.5 Trustpilot score and also an NPS score of plus 43. So that's Net Promoter Score. So that's where we ask our customers how likely it is that they would recommend us to a friend or a colleague or another business. And that score at plus 43 is well above the industry benchmark. Okay, so if you just move on to the last slide, our aim really is to uphold our values and behaviours in the way that we do our business, and we set out to do that every day that we come to work. Now, we don't get it right every single time. That would be crazy to think that we were going to be a perfect organisation, but we do listen and we do learn and we do continually strive to make our customer experience the best it can be. So, and the last slide before I hand over is really, I think, sort of summarising what I hope you will see as the benefits of your organisation. I think our approach and the wheel and the methodology that we use in how we engage with our customers is unique. We do really are robust in making sure that we work through the steps, and we also do that at the appropriate pace based on the customers. But some of the bullets on the side is, I think one of the really key things is about the power of one. We are one organisation. We can offer you multiple services through a single touch point, a single point of contact, in some cases, single contracts, and also single bills. So that's really important. We have 30 years of experience, as I mentioned before. So, we've gone through a number of different learning curves. We've followed the technology industry. And over those 30 years, we have gathered a great team with a huge amount of experience. And the good thing is that experience tends to stay with us. So actually, we can continue to build that out. So our people are definitely really important to us. We talked about having satisfied customers. We are continually learning from our customers. We're learning about the bespoke needs that they have, challenges they have, opportunities they have. And that customer feedback really helps us to drive our business. So I hope that's really given you a sort of a sense and an overview of our business and our group capability. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to Martin Bacon, who's going to talk a little bit more about the specific capability and resources that underpins that ambition. Thanks, Martin.
Great, thank you, Oliver, and welcome and nice to meet everyone on today's session. So, yes, I'm Martin Bacon. I head up our consultants team. I've been here for the last 10 years, and I've got a series of slides, and I'm actually going to introduce you to my people. They're not all joining the webinar today, but this gives you a bit of an overview in terms of who we are. I'm proud to be a geek and I love technology. I'm very passionate about it. And I think the beauty of my team is that we all are, and we all have a really unique sort of approach in terms of how we do things. And as Oliver alluded to in terms of the various slides that he showed with our product stack, we've got someone within my team that is a specialist in their field within each of those lines. Mine in particular, I'm a Microsoft Teams and Teams calling specialist. I head up all of the unified communications piece here. That's not only just Teams. We've got other systems in the portfolio that we can absolutely look at and look after for all of our customers. I also head up our Microsoft TAP program. So for those of you that may not be aware, as a Microsoft partner, we are one of 16 UK partners that actively help beta test and feed back to Microsoft all around the Teams product. So I head up that team as well. So we get early access to all the latest and greatest features, and it really helps us enable our customers, I guess, within that Teams role specifically, of giving them an idea of what's coming down the line and what to plan for early access. And we have actually got some customers that we've moved into that TAP program as well. We've wanted to be at the forefront of that TAP and technology within Teams. Each of my slides will have a little fun fact about them, everybody. Mine is, I think, I've probably had to deal with the most difficult customers in the world, being a former prime minister and members of the royal family. So I've certainly been through the mill there, both as an engineer, as an account manager back in when I was had my hands on the tools. But next we're going to move over, and we've got Colin. So Colin has been with the business just similar to me, sorry, just over 10 years, but he's got 30 years in IT. He is our Microsoft licensing guru. He has got every accreditation that there is to have when it comes to Microsoft. So for licensing specifically, we all know the pitfalls that can certainly come about. He's doing some big work at the moment in terms of the recent price changes that are coming down between February and March, and then also the potential increases in April. So we certainly recommend speaking to Colin for all of those sort of requirements that you may have. He's also an accredited ProSci adoption and change management specialist. So Colin really does get involved with any customer that's in the process of making a significant change to really go through those processes and maximize the ROI for the customers that he's working with. Lorraine Kelly was in English class at school. She certainly looks a lot younger than Colin, but I'll never tell him that myself. Next, we have Michael Smith. So I work very closely with Mike because he puts it a little bit down, but I say it, he calls it the plumbing of all things. He says, and I don't think we can ever underestimate how important this stuff is, because it's the connectivity that underpins everything that the modern workplace is trying to do in relation to cloud-based services and get everything off premises. He specializes in all different types of connectivity, from SD-WAN right up to MPLS, whatever you need. And he's also a certified Meraki specialist. So this isn't just the Meraki stuff where you've got switches and infrastructure and that sort of thing, wireless access points. We also specialize in all of the particular sensors that you can utilize for things such as door entry, cameras, temperature, water ingress, egress, and then overlaying that with AI technology as well to really give you some of the maximized benefits that a simple network, which is now being made interesting, can now do. Next one, please. Carla. Yes, so Carla is a big fundamental part of the business at the moment in respects to devices. It's very easy to sort of go here, there, and everywhere to try and work with a dedicated sort of business that's looking at your device requirements. It's really about looking at the future. And of course, with the Windows 10 end of life, we've seen a lot of activity here with the Windows 11 sort of upgrades that are coming through. Carla can help with all device requirements in respects of getting in bids with all of our preferred vendors, working out also deployment mechanisms for things such as Microsoft Autopilot and all the configurations that are needed there as well. She can also assist with meeting rooms and displays, so she certainly has got her hands full in terms of the amount of devices that we're having to replace for Windows 10 at the moment. Next, we have Paul. So Paul, he's been there, seen it and done it. He looks a lot younger than me, but he's been in IT a lot longer. He was an engineer at heart. He worked with IBM back in the day, worked with NetApp, has been within a lot of big businesses and worked with a lot of big customers to really look at their managed services propositions in terms of support, backup, disaster recovery, business continuity, end user support. as well as looking at also the Meraki stuff as well. So we don't just have one size fits all for each product. We do cover each other. So Paul is certainly your man if you're ever looking at those requirements for some potential outsourcing, or even just ideas on how you can support technology better within the workplace. And let's not forget, of course, Microsoft Azure. So it's something that all customers are gradually moving into in our world, and he can certainly help with that migration process for anything that you're looking at in terms of on-premises to cloud with Azure as well. He did also used to play football with David Batty, but I think he was better than him, which is why he's in IT. So I'll let him speak to you about that when he comes along. And here's one who you probably all know already. So James has brought a breath of fresh air to my team, especially for me. It's great to be working with someone that's so knowledgeable within that digital space in terms of the SharePoint, Power Platform, and also, which has really sort of opened my eyes, the Copilot space in terms of it's not just all about making your job easier as a day-to-day person. He showed me some really cool stuff, and I've even implemented some stuff for myself around Copilot agents and AI automation as well. So James has been in my team now for just over 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And he's really fitting in well. And we've already introduced him to a lot of our current chess customers, and they love how he works. And I'm sure that's why we did the acquisition of Silversands in the first place, because if it's anything to go by, it certainly sets the bar. Next one, Vicky. So Vicky is our mobile specialist. She comes from a background of being mobile for the last 19 years, and she really takes this seriously, because mobiles, I said, sometimes can be perceived as a bit of a pain in the backside when it comes to renewing contracts. But Vicky takes a really different approach. She actually does a consultative-based approach on it in respects of understanding all the necessary requirements around what particular tariffs are needed, any development funds for hardware, as well as working with the mobile device management side of things and looking at that cost optimization and efficiency. So she can certainly help in all of those areas that may come along for you. But of course, it's not just us as consultants that are really here to help you. We've got a whole back-end team of engineers, people within customer support and customer experience. And we've got 19 people within our managed service division, 20 professional services specialists that go out and around the country, and also remote implementing and upgrading systems, 11 dedicated Prince2 qualified project managers as well. So we really do take everything seriously, because it's not just about the people at the front trying to tell you about the latest and greatest. It's the people that look after it, implement it, and deliver it, which are really also core. So that's actually a picture of Tim. He's our head of culture. The next time I see him, I'm going to ask him about when he actually fixed something, because he looks like he's an engineer there. So I'll definitely have a chat with him. And then finally, some of our customers. So of course, I think as a consultants team, we're very lucky in that we're a very joined up part of the business. We're on weekly huddles twice a week. We're constantly talking. And I think one thing that's important for us as a team is that we understand what engagements we're all each other are having, because I don't want to go into a customer and say, oh, you should be doing this, but I'm not aware of their network being upgraded, or they're looking at the latest version of something else. So we have a very joined up approach when it comes to our solutions for customers. And these are just a few that we've worked on in a combined effort. Fries, for example, a very large law firm, over 1,100, 1,200 users. I recently helped them specifically putting in their Teams voice solution, utilizing adoption and change management as well. And they love it. And I actually do regular meetings with them on a monthly basis, just to give them the latest updates on what's coming to Teams, what's happening within the Teams voice space. And so those sort of things are extra value adds that we like to bring as consultants and as Chess, to ensure that we're keeping our customers on top of the technology and really realizing that return on investment. Next slide, please. And that one will cover our free consultation. So what we're really about is that now you're a Chess customer, you can really explore the art of the possible. So you've got access to my team whenever you need us, and we can really help you sort of understand, or even if you've just got a question about things, we can summarize it and make it a lot easier for you. We've done a lot of the digging already, so rather than you having to go out there and do it yourself, we're certainly there to help. I'm very much more than happy to talk to you about any of the voice areas that you may want to cover. Of course, the Cisco, Meraki, and more importantly, the smart spaces area. This is really becoming interesting, as I was mentioning previously, around the AI functionality. Some of the use cases around this, we've worked with some care homes, for example, and the cameras and the sensors that are in there, the AI technology can detect falls and create alerts. We've done a lot of this stuff also within the retail space, within a number of UK petrol stations where it's doing ANPR recognition. It's got cameras in the shops that are keeping an eye on the shelves, and it also spots people that might have hoodies on that look like they've been No offense to hoodies, they might be doing something and they shouldn't. So it's all that sort of stuff around the Meraki smart spaces, which is really good. Your licensing spend within Microsoft, assess it. Microsoft, they're openly saying we're going to reduce your costs in the next couple of months. So you've got to take advantage of that. So Colin can certainly help. And also assess it. Are you using all the right licenses in the right place? Could you maximize your cost efficiencies by trying to look at reducing a few, adding a few here, and really aligning that properly? And of course, the mobile piece. It's not cheap, mobile, sometimes. And we can really give you a good sense check of how that works and how we can work it with you through Vicky. But of course, what I haven't got on here is anything in relating to cyber. So I'm going to politely hand over to my esteemed colleague of over 10 years. I've worked very closely with Adam, and he's going to take you through the cybersecurity stuff.
Thank you, Martin. Hello, and it's nice to join everyone on the webinar. Martin pays me a very nice compliment there, but I actually worked at Chess for over 12 years and now head up the team as the sales director at CyberLab. So I think I'm coming up to 14 years in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully can add some value, and looking forward especially to the Q&A where we can make it a little bit more interactive as well. Just tell us a little bit about what we do. We're a Crescent Check certified penetration testing company. So we can do everything from Tiger team testing, red team engagements, or annual penetration testing that you might already be doing. But it's a really good way just to sort of see, and test and take a snapshot of what your organization is doing there and then. So we have, I think, over 20 ethical hackers at our disposal, which can obviously complement and add into your sort of wider cybersecurity strategy. We work very close with the NCSC, so the National Cybersecurity Centre. We actually have an office downstairs in Manchester in Dish, and I can cover a little bit more on that on the posture assessment that we're able to provide all customers on the call today. We're at Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus organization. So again, if you're looking at the certifications and accreditation side of things or ISO standards, we can help with that and that journey and take you on it. In terms of vendors that we work with, we very much complement the Microsoft security stack. So Sophos, we're their second largest partner. They're on a bit of a journey at the moment, moving customers from endpoint to managed detection and response. But what's really great about that solution is that it can work with Defender and Sentinel to pull that telemetry in and sort of knit solutions together. And I think that's what we try and do. So again, if we're looking at sort of email security, you might be utilizing Microsoft Office 365, but what we see is maybe Mimecast can just be that little additional layer on top of that to prevent phishing attacks, which is still one of the largest attack vectors that we see. I think it's 1 in 11 emails is malicious. So again, it's something that we can help with phishing training and simulation through our CyberLab control platform, which we can cover a little bit later. Again, you might be looking at things like SD-WAN and the journey from MPLS. So I think Mike, I worked very close with him in the past as one of the consultants, but equally things like Forescout, we might be able to layer in a multiple solution there because it can give you sort of visibility of assets. It can stop east to west traffic from a security perspective. So again, it's about sort of secure by design. So I work very closely with Mike to maybe sort of build that out for our customers. Again, I think Oliver touched around managed security services in terms of managed support contracts from an IT perspective, and we can layer those two together to kind of give you additional services from a security perspective to bolster that offering. So for example, we utilize Vicarious, which is an automated patch management system. Again, I think that really adds a lot of value in terms of stopping vulnerabilities at the source, and we can build that into some of our managed security services as well. So hopefully you can see that there's quite a few ways that we can bolster and sort of complement that Microsoft security stack. There's things like incident response that we can jump in on as well. So if you're hit with ransomware, we can actually leverage a rapid response service as well. But equally, a big tip for anyone is to actually test your incident response plan. Again, that's something with Martin's team and the consultants that I can help you with on that journey. So I guess how can we help? So we're offering a free posture assessment today. So this is in line with the NCSC's 10-step guides to good cybersecurity practice. So what this is good at is benchmarking yourself against industry standards and I guess where to align budget, because what we often see is that customers will come to us with a solution in mind, but what we'll do after the assessment is maybe they might be quite strong in that area. And what we see is that budget can be better spent elsewhere. So again, there's a way that we can maybe sort of walk you through that overall cybersecurity strategy And it's a good starting point with the posture assessment to do that. It's independent and it's run by our engineers, so it's not used as a sales tool. And I think that's always important to sort of factor into these conversations. But with the support of Martin's team and the likes of Mike, we can really sort of build out quite a comprehensive security portfolio and strategy. Equally today, we are offering a 30-day free trial of our threat detect solution for anybody that is on the call. So that will detect data breaches. It will find and fix unpatched vulnerabilities before attackers can exploit them. It will basically essentially monitor your attack surface and scan any external facing assets such as websites, APIs, and cloud services. And it will monitor the dark web 24/7. So what we see, our pen testers will actually use this tool before they actually do a penetration test. They'll look for known vulnerabilities, and it's a bit like a house analogy. I'd probably say that if you leave the front door open, you're more likely to be attacked. So again, it's just how we can maybe help build and sort of track that between pen tests. So that's something that we do recommend, and it's something that you'll be able to sort of take advantage of by joining this webinar. So looking forward to the Q&A. I'm going to hand back to Mike now. I think it's going to summarize sort of the wider conversation. But yeah, really, looking forward to meeting obviously the wider customer base and hopefully helping you like we do with, I think, 60 NHS trusts, a very large supermarket of over 300,000 endpoints. So hopefully we can add a bit of knowledge from a security perspective and add some real value. So back to you, Mike. I'm looking forward to this Q&A.
Thank you very much, Adam. And thank you to Oliver and Martin as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the session so far, and it's painted a clear picture as to who we are and the services that are available to you. And maybe you'll come away from today thinking, actually, there's a project on the horizon that we can now throw a chess hat into the ring for consideration. Before we round up and kind of summarize the next steps, I'd like to invite all of the speakers back onto the screen and really open up for a Q&A panel to run through any questions that you may have. So I don't know if people want to post any questions that they have within the Q&A section. I can't see any at the moment, but just while we wait for those to come in, I think from speaking to all of our customers, one of the main questions that I've been asked time and time again are around support points. Now, not all of our customers have support points, but the majority of them do. And the main question is, can we use our support points for the wider portfolio, the wider services? And the answer is yes. So you've kindly prepaid those points, you've got those sat there waiting, and in some instances there's tens of thousands of pounds or more sat in a pot, and you're thinking, well, actually we want to get good value out of them, we don't just want to spend them or lose them if we don't renew. Well, now you've got this option to use them for lease lines, use them for telephony, use them for licensing, use them for VoIP. Hopefully that opens up a few more conversations internally, and again just adds value into the portfolio.
The other thing I was just going to add there, Mike, is I think that it's a great currency, and one thing that we have a similar thing in Chess, which is around vouchers. But what we do believe is that we're going to consolidate all of that into a piece of development, which will make those support points a lot more accessible for all of our customers. And the other thing that we're looking at is also about how we might recognize loyalty within that element as well. So it might be that we can extend the use of those points to potentially drive some loyalty and reward our customers for spend and loyalty to our business. So yeah, I think it will be a central piece of development for us about how we bring that to be a much wider platform that we can use and develop moving forward.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Oliver, for that as well. And I think it's certainly proved popular from all the conversations we've been having. People like points, and it's here to stay. So that's great to hear. I think just going to check the Q&A tab. So I can't see any new questions coming in. So I will just touch on probably a further question that we have been asked, and this is mainly around the Microsoft licensing. So some of you may have your licensing through Silversands at the moment. And this is for Microsoft services. What I would say is that there's an opportunity here. One from Microsoft offering a 5% discount on licensing before April 1st. And this is for renewals between February and March 25. And it allows customers to kind of get preferential rates before the price hike in April. So it's well worth a consideration. Chess are a much bigger buying power. They get better rates than Silversands, and we'll be looking to have those discussions with each of our customers to how we can move you across smoothly. and open up, review of your current Microsoft licensing. Are there any bits you don't need, you can turn off, and potentially any bits that you might look to expand in to align with your current and future plans? So I'd say it's certainly worth a conversation. If your licensing's up for renewal this year, that is absolutely something that we want to book in discussions with the account managers going forwards. Can't see any other questions.
The other thing I was just going to say, Mike, is that, I think Martin introduced a number of his team, and Adam did the same in terms of the capability. All I would say is that you don't need a specific way of how you access this resource. The reality is that if you speak to your account manager and your account director, they are fully linked in and integrated into sort of the chess community. So, they could be your first point of call. You can talk with them about what your needs are, and they can then bring that back into the business and make sure that we get the right resource for you. So don't think you've got to click lots of different links or points of contact. If there's something there that you would like to discuss further, even if you want further clarification around some of the points we've talked about today, just please reach out through your account managers, and we'll make sure that resource gets lined up for you.
Thank you, Oliver. And the other point, another point to discuss is around the webinars. So, one of the big takeaways that we've had in the acquisition is that people like the things that we're doing at Silversands. They like the webinars that we're running on a regular basis. They like the ability to be able to get the hot topics and be kept in the loop with the latest changes. I think cloud moves at such a pace now that actually having the luxury of time to be able to sift through all the noise and the marketing comms that comes out from these big vendors. Actually, what we do is we distill that. We bring a condensed version of the latest updates, and they're relevant and contextual to your organization. So just to put a bit of confidence that we are continuing with those webinars, and in actual fact, they'll be looking to ramp up as well. I'll be looking to run a number of those, but there will be wider speakers from the chess team as well.
Yeah. And the only other thing I would, sorry, I keep butting in, Mike, but the only other thing I would add there is that, feel free to lean on us for some of those things that are happening through your business. You can imagine that if I take an example like the PSTN, the upcoming PSTN switch off, so every single business in the UK is having to think about its approach and its strategy. And we've obviously done a huge number of consultations. We've done webinars. We've got lots and lots of collateral around what that might mean for you as a customer. So the other thing I would say is, if you just want to lean on us to ensure that actually the strategy that you're executing is really robust and actually you've considered all elements, we're more than happy just to have a conversation with you about what your approach is and either reinforce that as a great strategy, or there might be other things that we might be able to help you with as well. So don't think that you only need to come to us when there's a need. If you just want to check in, great example for me is always, I say to Vicky around, if a customer wants to check in on their mobile deal, 70% of customers are paying more for their mobiles than they really should be. So the reality is, even if you just want to check in and say, look, this is how we structure our mobiles, this is what we do. If all we do is go, do you know what? You've got a great deal. Actually carry on with that execution. We're more than happy to be that independent piece of advice as well, without needing there to be a sale coming off the back of it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Oliver. And a couple of questions coming in now as well from Colette. So, can you do a review of the Microsoft licenses without it being a renewal? Yeah, absolutely. But we want to be there as your strategic advisor, and certainly, Colette, we know your organisation well. We would be in a place to be able to advise and recommend licenses. So I'd suggest that potentially we pick that up offline, and we can absolutely work with you to highlight any gaps and any bits that you want, even outside of the renewal. And the next question is around, you spoke about consultancy. Would you be able to provide that for ITSM replacement? And I'm going to bring Martin in for this one, just to answer that question, please.
Yes, certainly. So although an ITSM solution isn't within our portfolio, we certainly have a wide range of experience of dealing with customers' internal ITSMs and also our own. So Paul Gibbons within my team, our managed services consultant, can certainly have a chat with you and see what you're sort of looking at, and can give you the pros and cons for any particular solution that you're looking at, and also maybe the gotchas as well, because they do sometimes crop up, don't they? So Paul will be the man for that one.
Perfect. And again, I will look to arrange that with you, Colette. So I'll reach out after the session, and we can look to set up the conversations with Paul. Now, are there any other questions from people around the room? Great, good reaction there. I think some of the hesitancy may be that some of the questions we're seeing, and I can see a couple of people who've messaged me on the side, are quite specific to them as individuals and the contracts and things like that. So what may happen is once we send out the survey, if you tick the box, we can have a one-to-one discussion. And maybe some things that you don't want to discuss in the open forum, that's absolutely fine as well. So Martin, Oliver, and Adam, are there any other points that you want to kind of raise or kind of bring to the fore to the Q&A before we summarise?
All good.
I think for me, it's passionate about technology. Please feel free to get in touch. We love what we do. The team just enjoy showing customers the art of the possible and really trying to help open eyes. And when you're doing a day job, it's always difficult to think of strategies sometimes. And we've got a lot of the answers. So please really do feel free to get in touch.
Yeah, I just think from my perspective, just from a security standpoint, we do things like live hacks or podcasts. There's just ways of maybe consuming sort of knowledge as well. I think Mike touched upon that a little bit, but there's lots of content we can share. And sometimes it's just a second set of eyes on something that just say like, can you sense check this for us? We're more than happy to sort of join in. But yeah, I guess just see as an extension of your IT team, and we'll help where we can. And yeah, looking forward to meeting you all, especially over the coming weeks and months, really. So.
Brilliant, thank you everyone. So I will paste the link again into the chat. So thank you for our customers for attending the session today, and thank you for our speakers also. If there's one thing you take away as an action, review the survey link. Just register. You've got the free security posture assessment. You've got the free consultation around Teams Voice, Cisco Meraki, the Microsoft licensing, especially for yourself, Colette, and the telephony as well. There's preferential rates for all new Chess services for our Silversands customers, and we really want to work with you to be your kind of sounding board for any new projects that you have coming up. So just to say thank you very much. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you at the next event.